The three biggest mistakes a buyer can make. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Ryan Schoitzo with Caswell Real Estate. And really quick, I just wanted to talk to you about the three things that when you're buying a home, you can make mistakes on. And how do we not make those mistakes? So, three things: mindset, finances, and inspection. These are, at least from my experience, the three biggest things that happen to a buyer when they're in the process of buying a home. And whether it's your first time or it's your 10th time, these three things can trip you up. So first of all, let's talk about mindset. We always say when somebody wants to buy a home, they need to be ready, willing, and able. What does this mean? They've got to be ready. They've got to be in a place in their life where they either need or they want to buy a home. They have to be willing. They have to be willing to want the home and to want to buy it. You know, if you're renting an apartment or you're renting a house and that's going pretty well for you and you don't want maintenance and you don't want expenses, that's okay. But you have to be willing to shift what you're doing in order to warrant owning a home. There's a ton of benefits to owning a home, but you may not be in a place where you're willing to own a home, and that's okay. And then you need to be able to buy a home. And what does that mean? You have to be qualified. You have to be in a financial position to buy that home. You know, if your credit isn't great, that's okay. You can work on that. If you don't have any money in the bank for down payment, well, you know, that's okay. You can start saving, or there's ways we can work to get you some down payment money or programs like that. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to afford to buy a home, and you have to be able to buy a home and move into it. So ready, willing, and able, and it all goes into mindset. Is the mindset you have towards owning and buying a home where it should be? So if any of these things don't line up, you may need to reevaluate. Do I want to be a homeowner? Am I willing to be a homeowner? Can I be a homeowner? Is the timing right? And if it's not, that's okay. But that's some mindset work to do of, is this the best decision for me? So the second thing, biggest mistake a buyer can make is in financing, and that's not being prepared. A lot of people, they never even explore whether they can buy a home. And it's a lot different than buying a car, where you go to the dealership and there's enough loan programs out there to buy a car that somebody will give you a loan for something at whatever monthly rate, even if it's, you know, horrible financing. You know, that's how lending for homes used to be. And then we had this big crash in 2007, 2008, and restrictions really gotten tightened up. And so most people, as long as they've done the work to, you know, have decent credit and, you know, have some down payment money in the bank, you can buy a home. But if you don't take the steps to explore that, or if there's just a little bit of tweaking you could do to your financial situation to get a better loan or better loan program or better interest rate or whatever it is, you need to take the time to talk to a lender, explore that process, and get into it. So we have so many people that contact us that are like, hey, yeah, I want to buy a home. Let's go out and look at homes. And that's fine. We'll do that all day. You also have to look at homes and know what you want and don't want. But if you aren't ready, if you're not approved, if you're not in that place where if you find that perfect home, you want to put an offer on it, you know, in the next hour or the next day, but you haven't done the financing part, well, you can really run into problems there that prevent you from doing that. And if you had just started with financing, you know, you'd be one step ahead. So second thing is financing. Make sure you do your homework and you go into home buying prepared and knowing exactly what your financial situation is and how much house you can afford. Talking to a lender, you know, a lender isn't there to just sell you a loan. A lender is there to help you strategize and figure out your overall financial picture, what you can do and how you can do it in terms of financing a house. Third thing is inspection. Once you get past the mindset, once you get past the financing and you get into home buying and you actually put an offer in and it gets accepted, that's all exciting. And this is kind of goes back into mindset as well, but then you get a house inspected. Some people don't. With this crazy market we've had the last 2 years, I'm sure you've heard stories. Oh yeah, I didn't get the house inspected because, I wanted to be really competitive. We never recommend that. Always get the house inspected. You never know what's the condition truly is, and you want a neutral third party that's a professional at looking at houses telling you some things about it. Now, the biggest thing that happens though, especially first-time home buyers, but sometimes 10th-time home buyers and anyone in between, is they get into this inspection, they get this inspection report back, and sometimes it's 100 pages with all these pictures, and you start to go, oh my gosh, there's, look at all the problems with this house. I can't buy this house. This house is about to fall down. It's very important at that moment to step back and evaluate, okay, what is really wrong? What are the problems with this house? Are these that big of a deal? Because I've seen so many people walk away from what's probably a great house and then even told me later that they regretted it. Like, oh yeah, I should have just, dealt with that issue, or better yet, ask the seller if they were willing to deal with that issue rather than, what, no way, this house has too many problems, I'm out of here. Because it's very, very important to remember that no house is perfect and there's always going to be problems. You can walk through a brand new house and pick out a million things. We do that with new builds. The very last thing you do before you close on a brand new house is you walk through with blue tape, and you have blue tape day, and you mark all the places in the house that aren't perfect with blue tape, and the builder's supposed to fix them. That's a brand new house. So you can just imagine the kind of things that happen in an older house, even one that's 10 years old or, 100 years old. There's going to be things, but the point of an inspection is to say, how good are the bones of this house? Or is there some problem lurking behind the walls or in the foundation we don't know about? Just remember, everything can be fixed. There isn't one part of a house that can't be fixed other than its location, which is a whole different story. But everything can be fixed. So if you go in to the home buying process when you get to inspection with an open mind of, hey, everything is fixable and I'm not going to be scared off by one or two problems, then you go into it much more clear-headed of, hey, you know what? This house is worth it. This is exactly what I've been looking for. It's on the exact street, the exact neighborhood, has the exact lot I want, these issues. Let's talk to the seller, or you know what? Let's just pay to get them fixed or whatever. On the other hand, it might be horrible, or you might, not be able to deal with that. And that's okay too. But being clear-headed about it and not having those regrets later is very important. So anyways, 3 mistakes you can make in home buying: mindset, financing, and then inspection. All 3 important things to think and know about ahead of time before you get into it, because home buying can be a stressful process. That's why we're here. We make it easier. We help you strategize. We're your advocate. We're here every step of the way for you. So the more we can educate you before you get into all of this, the better it's going to be. So anyways, just wanted to share some quick things to think about if you're in the market to buy a home. Reach out at any time. We're happy to discuss these more in length. We're happy to help you strategize, help you figure out exactly what it is you want, what you want to do. We're here for you. So